Hello and welcome to Dell's Gaming. I'm Dell and this is from the Depths Designer, and I'm riding on top of the Weasel, the small sort of, medium vehicle, land vehicle, just running around the area at the moment just to see how it's like. It's just running in its own personal combat mode just to see how it performs. We have got a few more ships though, vehicles I've now created as well, so we're just going to go through them whilst the Weasel just runs around on its own. So they've been a little bit finicky. The AI's not great on them still, I will say, but they work to a fashion. There's going to be a limited ability. Oops, we've lost ourselves off the back. We're no longer on the back. Let me just hitch a ride so we can keep an eye on him. They've got limited combat ability, but they should be able to be a bit of fun, if not that effective. But we'll find out in the campaign when we actually bring them in. So let's go and have a look at the vehicles I've got. So let me come off of there, and we go, and first of all let's go and have a look at the Goliath. So if we go over to that point and spawn the Goliath in. So the Goliath here is effectively our heavy tank version. You can see it's got a nice big gun on the top of it. The AI is off at the moment, so it will keep on just going a bit further forward, then stop again. It's just because we're using control blocks to vary the output to keep his speed down. Now I don't want this going too fast because it will just destroy itself jumping over places, but the aim is to get within a reasonable range, about 500 meters, then it will stop and just pound away with its gun. So it's actually got a control block designed to stop it moving when it gets within a certain range of the enemy. And that's the way I've decided to do it. It has got shields which come on when there is a lot of enemy, and obviously it's made of metal, a lot of metal here, and it's got a fair bit of armor thickness available to it. So that's going to be reasonable for it. Now we'll just put the AI back on this one as well. So we'll put the AI back on and just let it run around. Right, so that's our heavy tank, the Goliath. It's about 1,300 blocks. I should have gone over. Let's go and have a look at it a little bit more, just to show some of the other parts of it. So we've got 1,300 blocks. Resource points, fairly high resource point count, as you can imagine. The gun. Let's see if I can get to the gun so you can see the stats on the gun. It's not brilliant, but it's good enough for this size of vehicle. If I can find the firing piece. Where's the firing piece gone? It's here somewhere. Helps if I press F9 and bring up the menu. There we go. So, reload time. I've kept the reload time low, specifically on this, so that it will fire for a long time, but not necessarily lots of machine gun shots. Recoil's manageable. Kinetic damage is good at 1,000. Explosive damage, so it is going to be doing explosive damage. Quite often we'll see some HEAP shots. Armor piercing 12.4, above the 12 threshold, because most of the ships it's going against are going to be alloy, which will have a value of 7, but the 12 makes it quite happy fighting against metal ships as well. Ammo 4,200, and that was done so that with the ammo use we're going to have quite a few shots able to go out there, over 1,000, maybe about 1,200 shots. So that's going to give it a good longevity for shooting. Inaccuracy 0.19, so reasonably accurate, given that the size of the gun that we have here. You know, we could make this a horrendously long gun, but I decided to keep it within reason. So its aim is to get within about 1,500 meters, start firing at 1,500, and then at 500 away it would stop. So if the target was 500, it would stop wherever it is, stop moving, to give maximum accuracy for its gun. At the moment this only has one weapon, and that's this gun. I was thinking originally of maybe putting some missiles on here to supplement the gun, but we'll see how that goes in the long run. Okay, let's now go and have a look at the next one. Now the next one's an interesting one, is the Copperhead. So we'll just go on to the Copperhead. Now the Copperhead is, let me just make sure its AI is off. Yes, its AI is off. It will move around a bit because that's its nature. So it's just under 1,000 blocks. It's designed as the AA gun. If you know Total Annihilation, the Copperhead was the AA gun. It's also got anti-missile missiles, so interceptors here. So its aim is to give a bit of a cover over the top of the Weasels and the Goliath. So these side two turret mounted guns are designed basically high rate of fire, not much damage. AP's 7.7, so it will be damaging alloy to a degree, but its main aim is to just pepper an area with its ammo, and basically take out drive, rotor blades, engines, all that type of lovely bits and pieces to knock something out of the sky. You can tell it's just driving around randomly at the moment. It's also got some missiles on the front, which are generally infrared and aimed at, just centre of mass to, again, take out a lot of frags on this, an EMP. Sorry, no, these were not the ones I was expecting. These are just explosive, just to hit things on the surface, which would be engines, items for. Oh, they're having a bit of a tryst. Okay, no, you can't mate each other. You're not going to make ships. I know you're happy with each other, but stay away from each other. So the weapon will take out engines, control surfaces, all those type of lovely bits and pieces. We've got obviously these missiles which have flares in them as well to try and make the system attract missiles away from the other vehicles. So all quite nice and handy. Another alternative, right, we'll put it on combat mode as well. So the AI, it has a separate AI for its gun to its movement, so they are separate AIs. Didn't have to do that, but felt like it. Oh, it certainly headed that way, although the Goliath, some of them I have done as a single AI. Now the Diplomat, if we go here, whoops, let's just get on the Diplomat. The Diplomat, 1100 points, is our ICBM server system. This has got, basically it's a mass missile launcher. The aim is that this will stay out around 2,500–3,000 meters, and this rear will pop up with a large long-range missile system and start firing, and it will target, it has got some infrared missiles, but also laser missiles for whatever the Weasel happens to start targeting. Then it's got a nice bank of normal infrared missiles on the front. Oh great, oh wonderful. You're just a pain, you are. You're going around just bumping into everybody, aren't you? Wonderful. Okay, well let's put you on. So the Diplomat only has one AI. Let's put you together and just see how you work out. You're going to try and destroy each other with all your rams on the front, aren't you? Because you're stupid. Okay, let's take you out to play for a second then, since you're determined to destroy your fellows. You just cannot get the units nowadays. It's not, not funny, guys, not funny. Okay, so we've got all of these nice units. Let's see how they go against a little target. We'll put something in so you can see what they're like. Right, we have all of our vehicles back at the starting position. We've got one jet coming in close, so let's start up, spawn them all back in again. Let's see, that's that. The Copperhead, the Goliath, which needs to be repaired, and the Weasel. So there we go. Oh, immediately our Diplomat has unloaded and is firing at this jet that's coming in. So he did quite well just firing against that jet. Yeah, and now he's closed up again to go and close in with the other targets that are out there. So our troops are making their way along the beachfront. Some of them are... The Goliath was getting healed. He's got some bots, but the other ones were also healing him a little bit while on his way across, which is handy. So he's making his way over towards the enemy. You can see he's got a tracking laser, just so he can see what he's aiming at. The balloon targets primarily. The Diplomat's heading over that way for whatever reason. He's decided to head that way first, so they can get in range. That's a little bit variable. They will wander around, basically. I'm just using an aerial AI, so there's nothing brilliant about any of the items I'm using here. Looks like the Weasel is trying to make its way through the water. One of the problems that I found with the AI in general is it tries to use a path which is not always great for the vehicles. It's trying to keep a little too low. Almost acts as a sea vehicle rather than a land vehicle. Oh, he's got a little stuck. Now they've got a system with control blocks, etc. If they get stuck on a hill, they will go to full power for a little while just to get them up a hill, and then they'll slow down again. And I've done that with control blocks, changing the propulsion fraction on the rear jets, and also setting, you can see at the moment it's got water drive is 5, and then it goes back down again. And also, if I get close to one of these jets, you'll notice its output is set at 40%. Oh, looks like the Weasel and the Goliath are having a bit of a problem. So it's set at 40%. If it gets stuck, which we might see just here, it goes up to 100%. Just to give it a little bit of a lift over the area. Now, looks like our missile launcher has set itself up ready. Now unfortunately the missile launcher has set itself up closer than it can actually fire. There is an assumption that the vehicles are going to be heading towards us, which isn't the case basically. It's mostly just slightly too far away. Yeah, potentially these are just slightly the wrong side of its range, which is unfortunate, because we've set it to go up at 2,500 and our range is... Let's just check our range. Where is the range? It's here somewhere. Bear with me. Okay. Let's do it using this. Let's not concentrate on the... Let's check out how the other two are doing. So we've got... Our Goliath has got in range and is firing at the target, as you can see. And our Weasel has... Well, he's trying to go flying. He can't work out, is he a plane or is he a land vehicle? But he's managed to get up all this really hilly area, and he's firing his missiles and also firing his gun. So he's got a little closer, which is good. He's taken a bit of damage there, getting into that position, but it's quite good. Now we'll just launch a few more targets. So we've launched a few more targets, and some of them didn't actually last that long, actually. Once the Goliath, between the Goliath and the missiles, when they start firing, they like it. Now, one problem we've got here is he's trying to fire through the ground at this target down here, and he can't quite work out why his bullets are not getting towards him. That is a problem. The Weasel is just going off on one. I have no idea where the Weasel's going. It could be he's got a little bit damaged. Well, he seems to be okay. He's just doing a big turnaround, I reckon, on this unit, and then he'll come back again. Where is the Copperhead? I haven't seen the Copperhead actually. Where has he gone to? Let's go to the Copperhead. The Copperhead's got stuck in the water. Typical. That's an unfortunate. We will move him out manually out of the water. Just to see how he does against these units. So, okay, we've got a few issues with these vehicles and their pathing. Seems to be the biggest problem I have at the moment. There may be some ways around that, but I'm not aware of it at the moment. Now, we've got a jet out there, so what we'll do is we'll just set the Copperhead against the enemy jet and see if that will come back in towards us. I have put some wood on this top of the Copperhead to try and make it balance a little bit upwards, so if it goes in the water like it is now, if it goes too deep, it will try to stay with the top upwards, basically. We'll have a look how the Diplomat's doing. The Diplomat's just sitting there waiting for a target to come into range. So if a target comes into range, which is 2,500 meters for the rear and about 1,500 for these front ones, if anything comes into range, he will fire. So there's potentially this will fire at that jet once he comes in, but hopefully we'll get the Copperhead to have a go at him, although the Copperhead seems to be going any direction except the correct way. He's been a bit of a problem, has the Copperhead. I don't know why. Yes, look, you're supposed to be turning that way. Why are you going out towards the sea? Maybe you need a little bit more turning thrust or something. Let's put this up here. See if that helps you turn a little bit better. Oop, jet got taken out by the Diplomat. Okay, so apart from this Copperhead, which seems to be just a bit of a problem at times, it's okay at times, it does perfectly correctly and goes in the right direction, and at other times it just doesn't do anything right at all. Can't seem to make its mind up what it's supposed to be doing, which is really annoying. But I'm going to go with it. We're going to see how it actually performs in combat. So let's get them all back to their starting positions. And we'll just get rid of all the enemy vehicles. So I've given them some basic combat tests each against some of the basic enemies that we have against us normally, and they've done okay. You know, they're reasonable. They could be a lot better. Now what we'll do is just to help these, I think we're just going to bring this whole group into here so they start a little bit more central to everything. Actually, we'll put that one just there. I'll put the Diplomat behind. It'll be easier to control and just do one more test with them if they are in a nice little group. There we go. So we'll just spawn them in and then give them some real targets this time. So hopefully they won't destroy themselves coming in onto the ground. So there we go. They've all landed, hopefully. And if we just go for some, let's say, a Jipachi and an Irritaion, just for the moment, just to give them something to go against, because I don't know exactly what's going to be coming at them. So we're just going to test those. So we're seeing, and this will give her the chance with our Copperhead to actually get some shots in this time. Yeah, some of his missiles are coming in quite nicely now. Took out that Jipachi reasonably. The Irritaion could be a bit more of a problem. He's still focusing on the Jipachi at the moment. And we have our anti-missiles as well firing quite happily. His Jipachi is coming back. But everyone is firing, which is good. The Copperhead has obviously run out of ammo for the moment, although they have managed to take out that Jipachi, which is good. Again, it was just taking out enough of the rotors by the looks of it, which is all the HE etc. just took out the rotor eventually. And now the missiles, because it's slow, the normal missiles are taking it out. And where's that Irritaion? Let's see how they do against this Irritaion, which is a slightly more difficult target. The Copperhead's ammo seems to have depleted at the moment a little bit. He's only getting a few shots in. There was a flurry of fire at the moment. Now, one thing the intention is that to have a few of these Copperheads. Because I am expecting most of the targets to be aerial-borne targets and not land-based targets. But okay, they did reasonably. The Weasel went hunting for the remains of the Jipachi. And they got the Irritaion as well. Excellent. Okay, so the basic concept works. Which is good. Right, so let's just bring them out of play. So what is next? Right, what I now need to do is build a carrier for these vehicles to bring them from the sea onto the land. Now my idea at this moment is to build, instead of a landing ship, I'm going to build a carrier copter. And this copter, the idea is it starts out on water. It's going to have, like, shall we say, a height it goes along at, say, 100 meters, 150 meters. Once it detects not water, so basically ground below it, of at least, say, 5 meters, it will then land. It will then deploy the vehicles it has docked and possibly create the other vehicles, some more vehicles that weren't docked, so it will then start acting as a spawn point. Something like that. That's the idea I got in my head. And we'll be doing next, and then we'll be ready to deploy, because as you can see, they're not very good in the water, so I want to get them out of the water as quickly, well, as soon as I can. So what we'll do is we'll use some carrier helicopters basically to carry the troops onto land. So that's going to be our next little build. So hopefully you've seen what's potentially going to be happening with all of these vehicles. I'll just bring them in one more time. So you'll be able to see what the intention is with these and how they will hopefully work. And I am hopeful that they will actually have some effect. Again, there is some bugs and they're not brilliant, but it could be good fun. that's as much as anything. This is just having fun with the game. As you can imagine, I could mostly be more effective if I just put a load of aircraft over this land area to defeat anything, but I think this is going to be much more fun. So until next time, please click that like button, leave any comments or ideas below, especially if you've got any idea about the randomness randomness of the AI. I could put a lure box on these, but I'm sticking away from lure boxes at this moment so that people can more easily follow what's been done and reduplicate it themselves if they wish. But other than that, keep designing, keep fighting, and have fun.